As you well know, President-elect Trump has attacked Ford many, many times in his rallies and on Twitter. He even once said that you were firing all of your employees in the United States, which is not true. Are you canceling the plans to build this huge plant in Mexico because of the president-elect?
Well, when we make decisions like this as a company, we look at, first we do what's right for our business. This makes sense for our business. And we look at all factors, including what we view as a more positive U.S. manufacturing business environment under President-elect Trump. And it's literally a vote of confidence around some of the pro-growth policies that he has been outlining. And that's why we're making this decision to invest here in the U.S. and in our plant here in Michigan.
What policies specifically? Because I know you've spoken with the president-elect about this decision today. Did he make promises to Ford, things that he will do that will make it beneficial to your business to stay here and cancel that Mexico plant?
Well, this business decision was done independently, but we did speak to the president and the president-elect and the vice president-elect this morning. And this is really around making sure that as we make these decisions, that it's first right for our business to do this.
So what will they do to make it right for your business? Because Mark, you've told me it costs you 40% less to build these cars in Mexico.
Well, we are really encouraged, again, by the pro-growth policies that he's outlined, particularly around reforms, around tax policy and regulatory policy. Those type of things I think are going to generate a very positive business environment for investment here in the U.S.
Let's get specific on that. He wants to bring the corporate tax rate down to 15%. That helps you. What do you mean regulatory? Are you talking about fuel efficiency standards?
Well, overall fuel efficiency standards, but just overall regulatory burdens that are on businesses. And he has said very clearly he wants to create a very positive business environment for businesses to invest in the U.S. And we'll have to see how that rolls out. But again, this is a vote of confidence that, you know, we feel very good about that kind of direction and in making these kind of investment decisions.
What did the president-elect say to you this morning? You called him along with Bill Ford?
Well, I talked to the vice president-elect this morning. He was very happy about the news and that we were making the investments here in America, not only good for Ford, but good for the U.S. and the American workers. Did not get a chance to talk to President-elect Trump. Bill Ford did that. He reiterated the same things.
Did he say he's going to stop with the tweets and the attacks against Ford?
Well, I don't think we got into that level. He was just very appreciative for the announcements that we're making, not only just here in the U.S., but the announcement that we're making to reinvest in our business around these 7 electrified products to show that we're a leader in this area.
So let's talk about the jobs. 2,800 jobs were slated to be added in Mexico through this $1.6 billion plant that is now canceled. Instead of that, you're going to create 700 jobs here.
Yes.
Why not as many jobs here as you were going to create in Mexico?
Well, first off, we have to understand the reason we are canceling our plant in Mexico, the main reason is because we're seeing a decline in demand for small vehicles here in North America. So as a company, we're always looking at our capacity and asking ourselves, where can we fully utilize it? So therefore, we're going to be producing the Focus in an existing plant in Mexico, so we don't have to build that new one and create those 2,800 jobs. And that's due to, just as we see, demand for that segment of that type of vehicle.
It certainly has something to do with the fact that the president-elect has singled out Ford among automakers pretty much. He did tweet about GM today. But this is a trend we've seen. The president-elect calls out Carrier. He gets jobs to stay here. He calls out Boeing. He gets a cheaper Air Force One. He calls out Lockheed Martin, and they say, we're going to work with you. There is a concern among some, Mark, that this is, in essence, a form of crony capitalism that is dangerous to American democracy, that the president can cut deals with companies, and then they expect favors from the administration in return.
Well, first off, we didn't cut a deal with the president-elect. We did what's right for our business, first and foremost. That's what drives us in every business decision that we make. But we look at a lot of factors, Poppy, and one of the factors that we see is, again, this more positive U.S. Environment for manufacturing and investment here, and we take that into account in our investment decisions very clearly. And this is the same for any other country around the world.
Does it concern you that he's going after American companies, not just as the head of Ford? I mean, something we've never seen in an American president before.
Well, we always see lots of opinions from whether it's politicians or others around businesses and the decisions that they take. And and our job as a business is to make sure we're making the right decision for our business, for our shareholders, but also at the same time, we are a global multinational company. And we're very proud of that, but our home also is here in the United States. And it's really important that we're strong in the U.S. and that we invest in the U.S. And that's why we are the #1 manufacturer of automotive vehicles here in the U.S. And we employ more hourly automotive workers than any in the U.S. This will help build on that going forward.
You said on CNN this fall, one of the things you'd like to see from the administration is, as they review fuel economy standards that mean that all the cars have to get more and more miles per gallon, that you'd like to see those fuel economy standards more in line with market realities, more favorable to your business. What about the concern from some who might look at this and say, is this crony capitalism? They might get more favorable regulation on fuel economy standards because they're bringing jobs home.
Well, we have always been consistent on this issue. First and foremost, we are absolutely dedicated to improving the fuel economy of our vehicles, and we're a leader in many ways on that. And our point was around when we agreed to the midterm, the one national standard back in 2011 that set the fuel economy standards out to 2025. It was an unprecedented agreement, and as part of that agreement, there would be a midterm review in 2018, and we agreed that we would look at the assumptions back in 2011. A lot of those assumptions have changed, whether it's the price of a barrel of oil or a gallon of gas, a lot of changes in assumptions on adoption of new technologies, and we just wanted that to be a fact-based discussion in developing regulations.
So to those critics, you say?
To those critics, we say, first off, as a company, we are very dedicated to improving the fuel economy, but we just want it to be a fact-based discussion, and we want to make sure that we preserve vehicle affordability, customer choice, and American jobs.